Moving on now, and some of England's leading universities are calling for student tuition fees to be ramped up even higher to tackle what they say is a funding black hole. Currently, fees are capped at just over £9,000 for home students, making England one of the most expensive countries in the world to study bachelor degrees. But the institutions say that's not enough, and it hasn't kept pace with rising costs, causing them to fall into the red. Well, they want funding per student to rise to £13,000, which could include an increase in tuition fees. Here's our correspondent, Stacey.
It's the first week back for some university students in England, and already the cost of tuition is the subject of debate. Universities UK, which represents 141 universities, says funding needs to go up to between £12,000 and £13,000 per student. At Coventry University, they've had to make savings, which has included cuts to staff to help balance the books.
The cost of everything has gone up. The value, so the amount of money coming in from student tuition fees has gone down, and the numbers of international students that cross-subsidise everything else has also gone down at the same time.
Tuition fees were first introduced at £1,000 per year under Tony Blair's Labour government in 1998. Rising to £3,000 in 2006. In 2012, the Tory Lib Dem coalition controversially raised fees to £9,000. But since 2017, fees have been fixed at £9,250 per year. Universities are now calling on the government to increase its funding, but it's possible that students will also be left to foot the bill.
I want to go and be a detective, so I need a degree to get into that. The price that it is now, I was able to compromise and find a way for it to work, but I think it increasing, it probably would have put me off, yeah.
For those who have their sights set on higher education in a few years' time, talk of increasing costs has left them looking at other options.
It's definitely really off-putting, and it has made me consider the degree apprenticeship route. But I do think that it's going to sway people a lot more to staying at home instead of actually going away, because then it'll be a lot cheaper to stay at home because you won't got student living fees or anything like that.
A lot of people tend to think that, this debt's going to be a burden to me, so it will probably be better to go for an apprenticeship, and obviously something I can get paid doing.
The government says it's inherited a challenging set of circumstances in higher education, but if they can't plug the funding gaps, there's the very real prospect that some universities will be left with no other options but to close. Stacey Foster, ITV News, Coventry.